Yeah, that's right, we're back with another video. And today I'm pretty excited because we've made our way down to Feralux Farm in Devon. Now there's an amazing skate facility here at Feralux Farm. Behind me is what's become known as the Farm Bowl, and this looks incredible to skate. There's also a really nice mini ramp that's 36 feet wide. It starts at about 3.9 foot high at one end, and then it goes a bit downhill to over 4 foot at the other. So it's a lovely size, and the dudes are warming up with a bit of a session on that to start with. I think we've all got our eye on having a go in this bowl, and we're waiting for the weather to calm down. It's supposed to burn through later. So while we're waiting for that, we can catch up with Rob, the owner and creator, who's going to talk us through some of the nitty gritty.
You know, the concrete from the 70s that I grew up skating was curvy, right? It was just all lovely stuff that you just swooped around on, right? Before ollies existed and things. So it was kind of always in my, you know, in my system to build curves. And the stuff I always loved to skate was curvy, whether it was from the 70s or more modern. So, you know, it was a natural thing. And the skate park industry didn't want curves. So I knew I kind of had to do it myself. And I used to meet people like Rob in North Wales, who's built a pool in his garden. I don't know if you know that guy, but I met him in Rom back in the 90s. And he always said he'd build a pool one day, you know, his perfect pool. And I was like, I'll build my perfect terrain, you know. So we kind of knew we would, but that's like 30 years ago, you know, 25 years ago. And he's built this amazing pool in his garden because he knew no one else was going to build that, you know. And it's the same for me. No one was going to build this, so it had to be done, right? Friends who got involved and helped, and you got Ryan Alcock and Opus. This was their kind of first kind of snake run thing, and they did outside. So yeah, there's a movement hopefully to have more curves and more special things, wave-like skating, where you know you go extremely fast and you know the terrain is kind of more important than anything else, you know. Yeah, that's hand shaped, you know. Literally, just big and chunky and hand shaped. It's not a pool, so you don't want pool coping. Obviously, I wasn't going to ever use metal, and this is really, really cheap to do. And as you're going to experience in a minute, it's beautiful to interact with. It's rough, it's big, it's chunky, it sounds amazing, feels amazing. So the whole thing with concrete coping is a sort of misconception that it's difficult. Obviously, pool coping can be replaced, but it's expensive. But yeah, so more people should do this, but it does need some maintenance. Yeah. Anyway, you're going to enjoy it, I think. Well, what will probably happen is you'll get lost in it, hopefully in a good way, and then you'll start to unravel stuff in you and it together, and find new ways of your approach to terrain, you know. But yeah, this is specific, but hopefully anyone who comes here just loves sort of indulging in terrain, you know, rather than saying I skate like this because of, you know, skate culture history. That you say, well, actually I go and just skate this terrain, and this terrain is this, and this is how I approach it. Because let's face it, everything's slightly different. I mean, every ramp, we've got a ramp over there, every ramp's slightly different, but essentially a ramp is pretty much similar to the next ramp. But this has its own approach. Yeah, I got a lot of mates from Stockwell because I used to skate there all the time when I lived in London. And Stockwell skaters just fit in, you know, because they've got all these lovely ways of just approaching curves and waves and, you know, open shape. So they just flow and surf and ollie and go everywhere and anywhere, you know. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day here because you know it's kind of the perfect conditions as long as it doesn't rain too much. We have events here. Some of them are skate orientated, some of them aren't skate orientated. We have a lovely big garden which is lovely for just hanging out in, camping in, and doing stuff. We do a lot of food things here and music things here and film things here. Which sometimes are skate orientated, but yeah, we do films in the bowl and music in the bowl, stargazing. So we have because we're near Exmoor, we've got very little light pollution. We're at altitude, we're like 1,000 feet up, so the skies are amazing. You lie in the bowl and you get the perfect angle you don't get the bad back. So you can do a lot of stargazing. So we sometimes do skate and stargazing weekends and things like that, which are really good fun.
Okay, so the mini ramp is undercover and it's a perfect place to get warmed up while we're waiting for the weather to settle down a bit so we can go for the main event of skating the bowl. Okay, it's burnt through a treat, looking pretty dry, so we're going to head in for a session in the bowl. Well, unfortunately, Mother Nature's had a bit of a moment and cut our session short. But to be honest, the lactic acid was building up. I was feeling pretty tired, and this bowl is super cardiovascular, so pumping round here is quite tiring. It's also like nothing else I've skated before. It's really set up for that surf style, picking lines, trying to link turns, as opposed to doing more skate-centric things. I'm sure if you're an advanced level skater, you could get on this chunky coping and make everything work. But we were all finding that we were getting so stoked on just trying to do a carve grind or a slash grind or trying to link a couple of turns together, that was pretty much all we wanted to do. Luckily, that big mini ramp, which is super fun, is indoors. So for moments like these, all is not lost. We're going to go back to that mini ramp, keep the legs warm. Hopefully there'll be a chance for another session later on. Many thanks to Rob at Feralux Farm for having us today. And if you're interested in coming to skate this amazing place, then I'll leave a link in the description. You can follow that and arrange your visit. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at John Bishop Skate, and I'll leave the Instagram tags for all of the dudes and dudesses that came on the trip today. Anyway, enough of my yakking. I'll see you next time.